Hello and welcome to another day in paradise, and welcome to another edition of the Unapologetic Negropian. In today's video, finally, we're going to talk about Black Acres of the Gambia. We're going to talk more specifically about the main man, Sweet Daddy, is it? We're going to call him Rick. We're going to speak about him, we're going to speak a little bit about his past, we're going to speak about the future of the Baggs family and how you should essentially take them. But first, I'm going to ask you to please like, subscribe, share, and click the bell notification. So before we start, I think it's important for context and for people that may not know them that well. Here is a brief overview of who the Black Acres of the Gambia family are. The Black Acres of the Gambia are a family of 9, most of whom have moved to the Gambia from the United States of America back in 2016. The parents, Cynthia and Ricky Usumbura, have 7 children who are now both teenaged and adults. They are continuing to work on a project to build a hotel on their land in the Gambia. The man of the house, Ricky Usumbura, has had his fair share of controversy since he has arrived in the Gambia. For months now, I have had many emails from people voicing their concerns about the Black Acres of the Gambia and whether they are genuine or not. And the reality is, I've ignored them because from the information that I've gathered, I've had no complaints about them. I've had nobody specifically telling me that they have robbed their life savings or something like that. Then I was contacted by a person who said he had proof that the Black Acres of the Gambia weren't who they said they were and that they shouldn't be trusted. He then sent me an email, a conversation between him and one of the Baggs family members. So this is the email string. I'm unable to put the actual emails onto the screen properly so you guys can read through it. But if you want a redacted version of the email string, please don't hesitate to email me at tuntalks.com. That's tuntalks.com. That's what happened. You had an email conversation between this man who's essentially asking one of the Baggs family members, I'm not sure which family member it is. It is written on the email. It's one of the daughters, I believe. I might be wrong. But one of the Baggs family members speaking to her, telling her that, hey, I will pay for the treatment of this camel. And the Baggs family members, this Baggs family member continued to have this dialogue with this person. It got to a point where the Baggs family member was saying, hey, listen, just send the money. We will take care of it. We will make sure we keep you up to date with how the camel is doing. Then they are caught in the middle of a conversation during a visit to the vets. In that conversation, one of the kids asks Cynthia what happened to that camel. And Cynthia replies, hey, it's Eid, they probably slaughtered it. So essentially they were asking for money from this gentleman to take care of a camel that was more than likely killed. It's quite petty, isn't it? I mean, it's not something I would pursue anyway. My time and energy is limited and my resources, and I need to be efficient with it. So I didn't really think much of it. I mean, to me, that is not good, simply because I'm an animal lover too. The person who contacted me clearly is an animal lover, and we may call it petty, but he would have taken it very, very seriously. But simply because of the volume of the amount of people that were speaking about the Black Acres of the Gambia, the number of people that were sending me messages and asking me and telling me, and I just thought, okay, let's take a quick look into Rick's past. And I simply Googled his real name and a whole lot of things came up. Now, I had to be careful simply because Rick has a son who has the exact same name. His full name, Ricky Devon Usumbura. Ricky Devon Usumburu Senior and Junior. Okay, and by the looks of things, Junior is not having an easy time back home in the United States. Now, out of respect for the family and out of respect for the child, well, he's not a child anymore, he was born in 1992, he's 28 years old. But I'm not going to show his mugshot, which I did find. It was kind of disturbing, to be honest with you. He's having a lot of problems back over there in the United States, and I've got to admit, I'm not sure if I could leave any of my children back in the United States to fend for themselves. But like I said, he's 28 years old, so he's old enough to make his own decisions. Junior's record is extensive, and you could see that he's a domestic disaster. It's really sad to see that his life has gone this way, and the reality is he probably would have been better off traveling to the Gambia along with his parents. In fact, you don't have to be a super sleuth to find out that the Usumbura family was in a world of hurt before they left for Africa. There were a lot of court proceedings, financial problems that they were having, the foreclosures on their houses, the stuff that they spoke to us about anyway. But I think there were other things. There were other things that they weren't open and clear about for obvious reason. And we're going to go into that right now. Take a look at this. Yes, this is Ricky Devon Usumbura's arrest record from Christian County, Kentucky. On the 9th of June 2014, he was arrested on charges of theft by unlawful taking or disposition of property under $500. Essentially, he was shoplifting. Now, the part that bothers me is not the fact that he got arrested. God knows we've all got a history, right? The part that bothers me is why he was arrested. So it happened in 2014, so he would have been 51 years old at the time. What is a 51-year-old decorated veteran doing stealing things from a shop? This brings up the thing which I believe most people have been completely ignoring. Rick Usumburu's mental health. I hate this mugshot because I can clearly see in his face that he is not firing on all cylinders. It's really sad that in our community we choose to ignore the obvious. It's almost as if there is some form of stigma attached to speaking to people and just asking people if they're okay. Here we have a veteran, someone who served and risked his life literally to help other Americans, and we're in a situation where this man is being arrested for petty crimes. What is going on in that country that they can take care of paying the bill for a $200,000 guided missile to blow up some kids, but no, when it comes to taking care of their veterans, things are starting to make a bit more sense. Listen, you have a household that has, yes, once again, another strong black woman in Cynthia, who's trying to keep things together in the household. Financially, they're in ruins. They have a father who is not totally mentally healthy, clearly. You have some of your children who have gone on taken the wrong path. I mean, it's starting to make sense. I would do the exact same thing. I would pack everything else up and take off and leave for the Gambia. I mean, you have younger children, younger-ish children in their teens, and you have an environment which is extremely toxic, especially there in the deep south. Your last name is well known in the community, all for the wrong reason. Wouldn't you do the same thing? I mean, isn't that one of the benefits of moving to the continent, being able to escape your past and start afresh? Yes, of course it is. It is an opportunity for you to rebuild your life. This also reinforces the notion, the worries that a lot of Gambians have about diasporans returning to the continent without pure intention. That many of us are returning to the continent with no thoughts of healing ourselves. So, is Rick actually doing anything illegal, anything bad in the Gambia? His draw for his land that they did a few weeks ago was just out and out illegal in the United States. But I have a feeling that many people knew that, but we didn't really care. I mean, why should we care about what's illegal in the United States, right? I mean, if it's not hurting anybody, if it's not destroying people's lives, if it's not taking people's life savings, then what's the deal? Should we even care? I know I sound like a hypocrite right now, but the reality is oversight is needed the vast majority of the time, especially when you're talking about these organizations who are making themselves out to be something that they are not. Rick and both his wife and the whole Baggs family haven't lied to anybody. They haven't told you that they are something that they are not. Whereas these other organizations that I was investigating over this last couple of weeks, well, they have. People know that they are not a registered organization, but everybody is more than happy to support them regardless. I mean, why? Why was he there in the first place? Why is it that America is such a good country when it comes to completely obliterating the lives of their veterans? I mean, this is a man who literally went to fight for your safety, for your right, for freedom. He travelled all the way over 7,000 miles to Afghanistan to fight for your safety. A little bit of cynicism there, but he did serve, right? Why should this man be in a position where he feels like he needs to, I don't know, steal from a shop? The simple fact is that he has done what so many of us are going to be doing, leaving the diaspora, to leave our problems behind, okay, and to start a fresh new life. And the fact that this dynamic duo of Cynthia and Ricky have managed to keep the family pretty much intact whilst climbing the insurmountable odds that they had against them. And they are now living happily in Africa. And they have adoring fans behind them who will support them anyway, regardless. I think he's a good example of a repatriated African success story. So, what do I take away from this story? Well, we have to ask ourselves a few questions. Can we trust Ricky and Cynthia? No. But do you have to? Probably not. Do they have integrity? I would say no, once again. But once again, do you have to? No, you don't really have to have integrity. You know, take everything they say with a pinch of salt, okay? And should you support them? Should you continue to give them money and support them in their efforts to build this building that they're having Yes, I would say so. Definitely. Why not? Why not? He has done a lot. Maybe not so much for the community, but he's definitely done a lot for himself and for his family. And I think that we should continue to give him our support, and hopefully this family will build a foundation for perhaps the others to perhaps the other siblings to perhaps return from the United States and go and live with them and restart their lives and build a better lives for themselves. So what do you guys think? Do you think I was right in my observation? I've tried to be as unbiased as possible. I don't really hold any grudges against them. And like I said, when I do, and when somebody is typically being fraudulent, I'll go at them, especially when they're being fraudulent to our people. But I don't see that in Rick and Cynthia. I see just a couple who are there and they're surviving. And I think it's also commendable to the supporters, the types of people who we are as diasporans, that we are there for him through the good and through the bad. So yeah, here's one for you. Let me know what you think in the comments section. It'll be really interesting to hear your thoughts on this one. I'm sorry that I've had to go here because we're prepping for Christmas dinner. So I'm going to have to leave it there. So guys, thank you very much once again for listening. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Until the next time, think twice. Ta-ra a bit.